Have you ever wondered if getting an energy auditor certification is just another box to tick, or if it could actually transform your career trajectory? Now, in today's world, the answer could make or break your future in energy efficiency. Hi, I'm Bruce Rouse, and I've got a lot of in energy auditing. And in this video, I want to break down what an energy auditor certification really means, how a certification might impact your job prospects, and most importantly, how an advanced credential like the Investment Grade Energy Auditor IGEA certification can position you as being a leader and a trusted advisor in the energy industry. Now, whether you're an energy consultant, a building services engineer, or managing facilities, watch on to learn how you might be able to avoid career stagnation or perhaps open up new opportunities and set yourself up to deliver higher value projects. So what is an energy auditor certification? Or it could also be called an energy management certification. It's a certification that validates your ability to assess a commercial or industrial facility, like a hospital or a school, supposedly certifies your ability to identify energy savings opportunities, quantify them, and provide recommended actionable solutions. Now, unfortunately, and this is really sad, energy efficiency is really commonly talked about the first fuel, but the full potential of energy efficiency has not really been realized, and this is commonly recognized. And one of the underlying reasons is that a lack of skill and a lack of trust in the advice given by energy auditors. And it pains me to say this, but that there are certifications out there that rely on just a few days of training and a multiple choice exam. And then someone after doing that is supposedly a certified in energy management or energy auditing. Problem is, just by being able to attend a classroom and answer some multiple choice questions, you actually haven't necessarily proven that you've got the broad range of skills which cover not just knowledge, but skills in calculations, complex calculations, skills around being able to assess a site and understand actually what's happened, not be just given a scenario and respond to that. Skills in communication. Now, these are all really important skills that are hard to test for, but a good certification will actually require you to present an investment grade energy audit and then assess it with a lot of care to ensure that the advice is trustworthy, that's been considered, and also consult the client to ensure that they've been effectively engaged. When you have a good certification, the value of that is that ultimately your trust. As I mentioned before, I think it pains me working in energy efficiency most of my career, is that unfortunately there's a lot of advice that isn't trusted there and there's a lot of bad quality advice. Now, even if you're a highly experienced energy auditor and really good at what you do, there's still a trust deficit that you have to overcome because many energy users have not undertaken energy audits previously. They don't know what it is. They don't know what to expect. So actually delivering an energy audit is actually a major achievement if you can do a good energy audit. And unfortunately, I feel that an energy audit is often portrayed as something easy to do that anyone can do, provided you've got some sort of engineering background, but that's actually not the case. But when you do have the full skills and you get to that point where through previous work, probably a certification that kind of sets you out, starts you off, then you're going to help build the industry up over time, particularly if you're vocal about the importance of certification. You've proved you've done it yourself and you're delivering great work. And I know that if you're involved in energy efficiency, you're probably passionate about reducing costs for your clients and reducing their environmental footprint, particularly their greenhouse gas emissions by reducing their carbon footprint. Energy efficiency is now just not a buzzword. It's incredibly important both for the government sector and for many corporations now who are wanting to de-risk their journey towards reducing their carbon footprint and to cutting their costs. According to the US Department of Energy, high-quality energy audits are actually the first step to major savings and emissions reductions for buildings everywhere. So what should be the key components of a high-quality energy audit certification? Well, firstly, there needs to be core knowledge. There needs to be knowledge not only of the technical aspects of how buildings use energy and how energy flows through buildings. There also needs to be knowledge of a process of how you assess a site, engage with the client, how you use the tools correctly in order to be able to quantify savings opportunities. Another challenge with energy audits is that often they're cost constrained. You'd love to spend weeks on site learning to understand all the systems, but often you just don't have that time. So you've got to be fast as well. And it's not easy to get to that point. So you need skills around technology. You need skills around being able to follow an audit process that is fast and efficient. You need to be able to take mountains of data, hopefully source mountains of data, because data is gold, but effectively and efficiently drill down to it, infer its meaning, and then translate that into recommendations around savings. You need to be able to structure your reports in a way that goes beyond just presenting quickly a business case with a table of recommendations, costs, to be able to speak the language of investment decision makers, to consider risks that often are not considered, to know how to deal with technologies that may not be fully proven yet, and how to deal with what's known as interactive effects, where when you implement one measure, it impacts on the savings of another measure. You also, ideally, if you're looking for a certification, will be one that is respected and recognized, such as by ERA, the IEEE. So if you want to skip hours of dry theory, an intense multiple choice exam, most of the savings opportunities at a particular facility are identified. That's then when you're going to build up some momentum over time and become well recognized and trusted. So if that's what you want, that's what the investment grade energy auditor certification is designed for. Look, to become a real expert in anything requires a lot of effort, a lot of experience, a lot of thinking, a lot of study. You could probably do a university length course, 3 to 4 years, to become really expert, or to start your expertise in energy auditing. But most courses now are a week long or less. In the investment grade energy auditor certification, it's not a university level course. It's kind of trying to bridge that gap to make it affordable and accessible, but at the same time much more robust than most of the existing training out there. So if you're interested in this, you might want to just scroll down to the link at the bottom of this video and consider trialing it. There's some free lessons there you might want to look at. And then if you want to enroll, that would be great. Just bearing in mind that we've got limited capacity to take on new students just because we've got a thorough assessment process that is quite time consuming. And we've got limited experts available to provide that assessment. So to keep on going with this video, I want to give you some additional advice about what best practices you should be following as an energy auditor and what are some common mistakes to pursue a certification that is genuinely focused on investment, helping you provide investment grade advice. It's not just a basic certification. Let me put it another way. If you want to learn to drive, you need to drive a car. You can't just read books about it and do like an online course. My kids have both recently gotten their licenses, and initially they just had to do an online test before they were allowed in the car as a learner driver. And a lot of certifications, just like that online test multiple choice exam, you're not yet certified. So if you want to get certified, pursue a program that actually forces you to do an energy audit in order to get your certification. It'll provide you good feedback on that as well. And then another best practice would be to apply what you learn as you go on real projects. Look to volunteer somewhere, shadow senior auditors, try to find a local building where you can do an energy audit, maybe at no charge or low cost, just to experience. And then focus up on understanding the needs of whoever you're advising and producing actionable, fundable solutions, not just technical reports. So any certification that pushes you to be providing practical advice that's applied and relevant is worthwhile. Then finally, staying current about energy regulations, the tools that are available, the funding ecosystem in particular that evolves rapidly, really is quite country specific. The common mistakes that I've seen people wanting to be certified as an energy auditor goes back to this concept of just trying to get an easy certification that just involves a quick intensive study followed by a multiple choice exam. That doesn't offer you any practical feedback or guidance. But if you're given some numbers and asked to calculate the answer and you're not told what the answer might possibly be, that's even better. And if you're actually required to do a whole audit by yourself, including the liaison with the client, Well, let's getting up to kind of a gold standard exam. Another common mistake is neglecting the investment grade aspect, the need to talk the right language with those who are going to ultimately fund the advice that's put forward in the energy audit. So an energy audit needs to start with the end in mind that an energy audit is only as useful as the actions that it initiates. Finally, this is a mistake, credentialism. I see too many people just wanting to get a credential on their resume or CV to say that they're a certified energy manager, energy auditor. And they're not focusing on the competency that should underpin a certification to deliver genuine investment grade advice that genuinely helps energy efficiency solve the challenges of high energy costs and carbon emissions. So is an energy audit certification worth it? Well, if you're passionate about energy efficiency or you want to be engaged in work that you think has higher meaning beyond just taking a paycheck, a standard certification may not necessarily open the doors you want. Grade energy audit certification, like the IGEA delivered by the Sustainability Education Academy, which is attained only when you can prove that you can deliver an investment grade energy audit. That is your ticket to credibly demonstrating that you can take on more project responsibility and deliver more value to commercial and industrial energy users. So if you think you know it, well, don't let your expertise be unproven and untested. If you don't know it, I suggest you aim to get quality training and not just a exam plus multiple choice training. I suggest that you prove it with a credential that signals real world value to employers and clients, like the investment grade energy audit certification from the Sustainability Education Academy. So why don't you go now, visit the links below this video, and maybe if you're really interested, try for free a couple of the lessons in the investment grade energy auditor certification. And I would really love to get your comments on this video. And if you've got any questions, don't hesitate to ask them as well.